Duplicity County 5th graders. It's Miss LaShawn Ashton here again today, and I'm so excited again to be with you. I am very happy to be able to have this opportunity to meet with you twice a week and help you along this journey for virtual learning until the end of this school year on June 2nd. So I'm super excited that I can be here to help you. So let's get started. What did we read about on Monday? Somebody tell me. Good, about a wolf. And what was interesting about the wolf? Perfect, that he traveled 3,000 miles from Oregon to California, and he trekked back and forth, and that he found a mate in an area where wolves had thought not to be around for hundreds of years. And now they were researching him and excited that they might be able to reestablish this wolf population. Hopefully that they would have pups, and those pups would grow up and find other ones and continue the process so that the wolves would be back in that area. So what we did Monday is we talked about the who, what, when, where, and why, and I asked you guys that if you didn't have access to Canvas, to read an article, an information article, so a true article, not a fiction article or a fictional story, and report to somebody about who the article is about, what was happening, where it was happening, when it was happening. Did you do that? Good, I knew you guys would. And then I told you also in that same article to look for a word that you had trouble with or you thought somebody else might have trouble with, and use your strategies. Read around the word, read before it, read after it, look at a picture, look at the title, think of another word that could possibly replace it and didn't make sense. Were you able to do that? Great. I'm so glad you guys have been able to use these strategies to help understand what you're reading. So today we're going to look at two different standards. So we're going to work on RI 1.2, which is finding the main idea. Can anybody remember what the main idea of a text is? Good. The main idea of a text is the gist of it. What is the text about? What is the big overall thing it's about? And sometimes when you think of main idea, some teachers might say it's a house and the roof is the main idea, and then you have the walls supporting details holding up that main idea. So think of that too. So what was the main idea of what you read, and what were some supporting details that supported what you read? And then we're going to talk about another standard, which is RI 3.8. Explain how an author uses reason and evidence to support particular points. So we might look even deeper. This text had sections. So what point was the author making in each section, and how are they able to support it? Okay. So let's talk about two or more the main idea. So what was the main idea of this whole text? Can anybody tell me? Good. The main idea of this whole text was about a lone wolf and how he just appeared in the area where there hadn't been wolves in a long time, and they were researching him. He had a tracking collar for 3 years, and they were able to see where he was going. They put up cameras to see what he was doing, and they discovered that he had found a mate, or what they thought was a mate, and that they might be able to help repopulate the area with the wolves. So that's the main idea / summary. The main idea was just about researching the wolf and being able to track him and see what he was doing. And then the summary really is going from beginning to end in 3 to 5 sentences about what the text is about. So what I want you to do too is with that article, if it wasn't the article in Canvas and you didn't have access to it, with the article you did read or the text you did read, to summarize it. Try to summarize it in 3 to 5 sentences. Don't give a play-by-play of like a football game or a basketball game when they tell you this happened and then this happened and that happened. What were the main points? What were the key ideas to help determine what happened in the text? So we don't have to give every specific detail. It's kind of like when you're asked to highlight in a text the important details, and I have students that you come by and the whole page is highlighted. Everything's highlighted because they thought everything needed to be mentioned. what are just the key points maybe out of each section or each paragraph, one key sentence that if you put them all together, it'll tell you what the whole text is about. So I want you to think about that. Secondly, okay, so 3.8 is really just a standard, which is using reasons and evidence to support a particular point. So when the author makes a point in the text, what reasons or evidence is the author using? So let's say he talks about managing wolves is controversial. You think about wolves. If you go outside and you see a wolf, they're probably as scared as you are scared of them, but they're going to be defensive and they're most likely going to try to attack, correct? So that can be controversial. You want to have that ecosystem back, like they talked about in the article, and you want to have everything working from each other and living from each other. But if you have these wolves coming back, is that going to be bad for people? Are they going to attack people? It also said in the article that farmers said that they killed their livestock, their cows and other things. Is that going to be an issue? Is there ways to avoid that? So that would be controversial. So how does the author help support that? Bringing back the wolves could be controversial. So you have to look back through the text and think about those things. Was it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? What specific things does the author use? So in your text that you read, I want you to find points. It could be the point of each section, and talk about what the author explicitly says to defend that point, or to say why it's a valid point. For one of the questions you guys have in Canvas, if you have access to it, it says, what evidence does the author provide to support his claim that wolves are endangered? So what things in the article tell you that they're endangered? Those would be the ideas supporting it. So the idea is that they're endangered. Wolves are endangered. Well, how do we know that? What does the author say to tell us that? Another one, scientists are managing wolves. So he made the claim that scientists are managing wolves. Well, how is he defending that? What evidence is in the text saying that? So you have to think about that. So in the text that you might be reading that might not be this wolf text, what is it saying? And then what is the author using to support that? How do you know that's happening? How do you know it's a good thing? How do you know it's a bad thing? So things of that nature. So when you're reading something like this that has sections, you can do chunking. So you take the first section and chunk it. What is this about? You take the second section and chunk it. What is that about? And every section you have, and then you look, are they making a claim? Are they making a point in each section? And then how do we know that they're defending that point? How do we know that so what evidence are they using? What reasons are they using to defend that claim or that point? So even if it's not this wolf text, you could easily do that. So what I want you to do is I want you, for this new standard, is determine the main idea or main ideas in the text. And then I want you to use evidence and reasons from the text that support what the author is saying. Just pick one or two. It doesn't have to be a lot. And I want you to share that with a family member or your teacher so they know that you know what you're doing. So now you're going to be the teacher and teach somebody what you know. I hope you guys have a great rest of the week and a great weekend, and I will see you guys again next Monday. Bye, guys.